A good Erev Shabbos, Parshat Shlach. So the truth is here, at PWI, I believe Parshat Shlach should be our banner Parsha. Because what we're speaking about in this Parsha series, and really what we've been speaking about in the beis midrash program and in the podcast, is really one thing. Our vision is that we want you to be sitting at your desk and be feeling gewaldic about being at work today. That's really what our goal is, if we have to sum it up. And Parshat Shlach is all about that. How much so? We're talking about Eretz Yisrael, we're talking about Meraglim, we're talking about the Midbar. What does this have to do with work? So as we've discussed in different forums here, Parshat Shlach is a fundamental story in understanding a shift that was meant to take place in our history. We have Bnei Yisrael, we come out of Mitzrayim, we are created as an Am. We go to Matan Torah, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu loads us up with the Torah Ch'tosha. He loads us up because the Torah is the kli that we need in order to be able to achieve our tachlis here in the world. Hashem created us, right? Bereshis bara Elokim. Hashem created the world for the Torah. Hashem created the world for Yisrael. The Torah is the kli. Right? We just came after Shavuos. We're loaded up. We have the Torah. Now we're all ready. What are we ready for? So we know Bnei Yisrael left Har Sinai. They're marching along. We have the Galim, we have our flags. Everything is now going towards Eretz Yisrael. And when we hit this junction, right, where Moshe Rabbeinu, we find, right, he sends out Meraglim, right? Did they ask to send the Meraglim? Did Moshe Rabbeinu say to send the Meraglim? And different understandings. What's taking place over here is a critical error. And this critical error wasn't done by me, it wasn't done by you, it wasn't done by tzaddikim in our generation, it was done by people we can't even be masik, we can't even comprehend the godless of the Meraglim, of who they were. Yeshua even wasn't the greatest one that went. How was it that these Meraglim, who saw Yetzias Mitzrayim, they saw Matan Torah, which we can't even comprehend, could make such a fundamental mistake? They could come back and say, Ephes, it's impossible for us to be able to conquer the nations of Canaan. It's a big topic. But one understanding that's brought down, right, the Tanakh of Eliyahu brings this understanding. It's brought down in numerous different places. Is that it wasn't what it seemed. It wasn't that the Meraglim thought that HaKadosh Baruch Hu couldn't bring them into Eretz Yisrael, but rather they had a motivation that was l'shem shemayim. One of the explanations and the motivation that they had l'shem shemayim was that they were afraid. They were afraid because they knew that when we go into Eretz Yisrael, there would be a shift from being in the Midbar, from being in Super Koilel, from having Moshe Rabbeinu teaching us Torah, from having the Man, from having the Be'er, from having the An. We didn't even have to go clothes shopping, right? I just went clothes shopping recently. It's time consuming. It could be expensive. You didn't have to do it. Imagine a world where we didn't have to change our clothes. I know for some people that might be a nightmare. For some people, amazing. It just grows on us. They didn't have to do any of that. They could just be shakua and learning Torah. Going to Eretz Yisrael meant no man. Going to Eretz Yisrael meant no Anan. It meant no Moshe Rabbeinu. It meant, as we discussed in the beis midrash program, pick up the shovel, pick up the spade, and start digging. Start working. Start building a government. Start building a society. And the Meraglim, Gedolim, had a cheshbon, they had a consideration that this would not be good for Am Yisrael. This would not be good for us. We weren't ready. We would fall. This is not going to bring more kavod shemayim. It sounded great, but there was one problem. That's not what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted. Because what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted is to take the Yetzias Mitzrayim experience, to take the Matan Torah experience, to take the Midbar experience, and now bring all of that into Eretz Yisrael. And bringing all that into Eretz Yisrael means bringing all of the ruchnius into the gashmius, bringing all of the Torah that you learn in the beis midrash and bringing it into work. And not just going to work and giving a kvechs, I wish I could be in the beis midrash. Of course we should. Of course we should want to be able to learn Torah. But what it means is recognizing, and this is what Eretz Yisrael is. What Eretz Yisrael is the opportunity to take the Torah and to take the mitzvahs, to bring it into your office, right? To bring it into traveling, into business meetings, into programming, into design, into accounting, into being a tailor, whatever your parnasa is, into being a plumber, whatever it is. and to take all of that and to be mekadesh shem shemayim with what you're doing. Not just by having good derech eretz, not just by being honest, right? Not just by wearing your kippah, right? Even though, especially today, that might not be so pashut, right? That you have that healthy covet. I'm going to wear a kippah in a situation. Not just that. Do that. Of course, do that. But more. What it means, as we've discussed, everything we talk about here in PWI and all of our programs is to be a yid, to go to work with excitement, because you recognize that by being at work is an opportunity for dveikus. Not just by being a social worker and being a therapist and being a rabbi. That too. But yes, by being a plumber and by being in finance, and being involved as an accountant, whatever you are doing right now at your desk is an opportunity for dveikus. And that was the message of Parshat Shlach. The message of Parshat Shlach is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu believes in us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu believes in us. Moshe Rabbeinu believes in us. He believes in you. That you have the ability to be matzliach in bringing ruchnius and becoming a better person and becoming a better yid today at work. Avodas Hashem, we should take the message of Parshat Shlach with us and to take a deep breath today, sitting at your desk. Hashem believes in me. Hashem believes in me that yes, even outside the beis midrash, even outside of the shul, when I have the right consciousness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in mind, I'm able to do amazing things. Have a good Shabbos.